I'm in the sauna. They're like, yo, get ready for the camera before you go live, which is like working out. No, I'm just kidding. It's like framing it. But also at some point, it's just like, well, I'm in my boxers. Here I am all sweaty. I'm not going to not talk about this. I'd probably wait and do it in a format that's more regular. But I am one of those rogue traders, so to speak. It's traders with a D, don't get me wrong. Beaumarchais was one of my heroes. Look him up. I sort of had a lifelong epiphany. I'm 46, technically 46 years old, single male, no children, never married, technically. You know, I've been in relationships and saw these problems in these women, and I kept blaming them. Same problem when it's come up. I get frustrated, and these women, you know, at one point in my life, I was blaming women, 2013 era, fuck women, like that horrible. Like, a friend of mine was like, yeah, okay, that's enough for me, and he unfollowed me on social media. I was like, I'm the problem. But to really integrate that into your code, I just realized these girls weren't the problem. And you know, everybody's got their own problems, but I was the problem, causing that recurring behavior that then I would be, for me it was, I would just sedentary. I would just sit around. I have my life where I sit on my computer, I play my guitar, I play my video game, whatever. Just kind of have a more sedentary lifestyle I've developed over 46 years. And bringing a girl into it, I'm like, have a seat. Welcome to my life. And then I keep going. You got to forge a new path together. If you're going to bring a woman into your space, like literally living together, that's basically a form of marriage. Mixing energy, way life, like, and unless you're going ready to engage, that's why they say don't move in until you're married, probably. But it's, you got to learn this on your own before, like, just someone coming out and telling you don't move in until you're married is kind of like, well, show me the work. Why? This is, I think, the work, because you're obligated to marry her in that sense, to make a new path together and forge it and to create new realities and let go of your old ones. Like, some of your old behaviors might still work, but you just opt to not use it to make a new behavior with her. And there's an opportunity cost there of what you lose, the value of what you no longer have, plus the value of all the other things you could have, and you don't even know what they are yet. And you might start thinking you're seeing them along, and you got this opportunity cost of creating this new thing. But I tell you, it's priceless. If it's right, it doesn't have, like, the other stuff is valuable. I guess it keeps you alive. There's value to happiness. There is. But fulfillment, satisfaction and fulfillment in life is greater than happiness. It's like a coercion. It's like it's a group effort. You know, we're like these tribal, these I think we're related to bonobos in some fashion. These intensely communal creatures, primates particularly. And it's to think that life could be any other way is foolhardy, in my opinion. I mean, you can always live it, but are you really alive? That's the joke. I mean, you're technically, you can keep your body alive, but the will to live comes from within and without. The will to live comes from beyond the things around you. And that, I guess you could argue that other humans are things, but I don't think so. It's one of the things about psilocybin I like a lot, is that the things that are alive, so maybe they are things. It's very, you notice life. At least my experience was I noticed life stood out on everything else. The grass, the trees, the animals, the water. And then everything else was very stagnant, like the rock and stone. I was like, I can tell it's been built and constructed for me, and these animal things, these amoeboid saltwater creatures. So, you know, when I say that, you know, you can be fulfilled without things in your life, that's not really true. You know, you need things. There are needs that lead towards fulfillment. But once you got it made, man, once you're locked in and like, you don't even have to be. Once you feel like you can get it made, and you meet somebody that is willing to make it with you, and they believe you can get it made also, and they think they can get it made with you, homie, throw that girl a life preserver. And I'm talking to you two girls, and it's a guy, I don't care, whatever, but like, bring her into your flow. So what's happening is we got these tornadoes of life, and you meet somebody who you see in this flowing wave of reality and these clouding, spinning energy, and then you see people, and you're like, hey, you know, you look cool or familiar, or I'm drawn towards you, and you like come up near, you bump into someone's other flow, their tornado, and you see each other through the tornadoes, and you're like, you're pretty cool, want to hang out here for a minute? And this chaos is all around you, and it's like, yeah, and for whatever reason, you might be like, want to join forces and join tornadoes? And she'll be like, yeah. Or vice versa. The girl's like, want to come into my tornado? And you're like, yeah. And you go in and you create a new tornado. It's bigger. It's amplified because you're adding mass. But you're in one big tornado together, you and this girl. I don't know why I keep saying girl. This is just how I was telling myself this vision, my story. And then once you're in the tornado together, it's like our tornado. We're making this together now. And to lose someone from that has a variety of implications. And to, to be the one responsible for someone knowing that it's not the right thing to hold someone there because I was too lazy, because I was too sedentary and it wasn't helping her. I could see the harm it was doing to her holding her there over and over again. And I felt guilty that I was harming her. I felt like I was responsible because I wasn't doing the work towards I wasn't taking the risk of the new bridge in time and tangibility. And that repeating cycle then I would get frustrated because she would start to act out. And that can be a variety of ways, just by not saying anything, by forgetting something, just ways of it, just like I wasn't exercising. I wasn't like connecting, going and doing stuff together. This flow of like, welcome to my world, have a seat. You can help yourself to whatever's in there. And this is probably like, what the fuck, duh, to all the married guys, or the people that are like truly married, It's like, come on, I'm talking to the people that aren't right now, because this is what I learned when I wasn't. And it's like, then when they act out, whatever that means, just not acting to my standard, whatever bullshit standard I have created in my head, I blame them. And then I allow anger and frustration, and I blame them for missing something. But I hadn't been exercising with her. I hadn't been taking her out. I hadn't been getting to know her personally, like deeply. If you're going to move in together, it's all the way. You can't, you can half-ass it if you plan on leaving. But to jump into it is like, I'm a big risk taker, for better or worse. Usually calculated. My risks are very calculated, but sometimes my behavior is subconscious. For so many years, I was doing this bullshit repetition. And one day it just dropped. And then another thing, an issue I would find myself doing, you might be able to relate to this too. This is why I'm saying it, is if a relationship were to end, one of my relationships, and then I get into a new one, I would put that love on the new girl. Like, oh yeah, I remember how to do this, kind of, wouldn't even think it. I would just find myself expressing that. And it's like, yeah, the love is coming out of you. I get it. You're evolving, you're changing, you're growing, you're building, and maybe you are a more loving person after your last relationship. But to put that misplaced, like, you are that one, you're the same in any way, is a psychosis behavior. It's crazy. And then it creates hostility, likely hostility, which then the psychopath would blame them for becoming hostile. I think that's called reactive abuse. And it's better to have a neutral platform, even if it's someone you used to date. I think to not have those old memories and stuff like too tied up with reality, like right now, because people change so much. Okay. Probably maybe a bit wild words of wisdom. It just was flying out of me, man, in this sauna. So I like my core temp's going up, and I was like, I'm ready to listen to a lot of information. I'm like, why don't I just listen to my own subconscious out loud? So that's what I just did. Have a beautiful evening, man. Oh, man, take advantage of it. It's something I learned from somewhere when I was 3 years old or something. It was old wisdom. I was fortunate to be around people that had wisdom, and one of them taught me to not ever take anything for granted. And it wasn't that extreme. It was just this knowledge of what you have now might not be there later. So use it. Have fun with it. I guess you're watching the video, so you're accepting me give you unsolicited advice. You're always welcome to shut it off. I think fun for me is a big one. So you use it however you need to. These things you have at your fingertips available to you. Really put it out there, because you are the solution. We're the upcoming, Christ returns within all of us. The second coming is within all of us, or enough of us that it creates a critical mass of consciousness that live that way, like he used to live, with those benefits, those joyous, the virtue, to truly embody the virtue, even if he didn't have it perfect, to be like that. Enough of us to be like that. Ambition's not on there, but when you can combine it with ambition, you get people like George Washington, in my opinion, or I was thinking Beethoven, I think. It was another person. Um, George Washington is my like robotic one that my go-to ambitious, virtuous man. I think that was more Ben Franklin. Yeah, Jesus, all that stuff. Okay, good. So pour out the virtue with your technology. Use this opportunity to really change the narrative and alter people's gut, the special consciousness from the core. You get it. Do a gut cleanse if you have to, because it really helped me. Because you don't feel as much pain. You have more control. Tightening your gut to really explain a point so that they can feel that, all those nerves, and they're like, I get you. I feel you.